Hey guys, how you doing? Listen, I wanted to go a little bit off piece today and show you an absolute piece of awesome software that I've been using for a very long time now from a company called Emotion Systems. They have a couple of products in there, and the big ones that are rocking around right now in the UK marketplace and around the world actually is F and another thing called Engine. So Engine is the server superstar of F. F has got a great little place in the world as well. He can do a lot of stuff standing alone, bit of watch folding, but Engine takes it to the next level. It is completely server-based, runs on Mac and Windows and Linux as well. I run it up on AWS as an instance, and we use a lot of watch folders and a lot of API for it as well. So tremendously powerful piece of software. And I just want to kind of walk you through what I do with it every day. I think you'll find it's quite cool. So the interface basically fires up this way, and you've got all your presets that you want to deal with down here. You can manually send stuff through as well, which is quite cool. Just make sure your destination, you always got it set to wherever you want to put it to. I've just got like a folder on my output on my desktop. Over in settings, this is where it all gets absolutely juicy. Now, you got to be wary of this program. It can do so much, and when you buy it as a base level, you get a certain amount of functionality, and then you keep adding stuff to it. So if you want to do upmixing, downmixing, Dolby, swapping, examining, and all sorts of stuff, it does come as a price, but you need to talk to the guys at Emotion, just basically find what's best for you. So what I'm going to do is that I've got this EBU128 here. I can do either or all of these. I'm going to come down to this 5.1 in the stereo because the majority of the stuff I need to do is either being cut in stereo, it needs to be up-res to 5.1, and better still, it needs to be a 5.1 channel 1 to 6 and a stereo mix on 7 and 8 for distribution. So in the EBU one here, it'll come down and you can basically configure your sequence. So this is a new, whole new way of thinking for Emotion on the version 7. By the way, this is version 7 that we're running right now as well. So it goes in chunks, so whatever your source file is, what the signal processing is, what the destination is, and it gives you a nice little idea of where you're coming from here as well. But what I'll do, I'll crank out a brand new one, or better still, I'll tell you what, I'll come down here and I'll show you this 5.1. So seeing up here I've hit this 5.1 in stereo, it's automatically aligned the sequence configuration down here as well. So if I configure this now, you'll see a whole load of fun stuff. And plus, I love the color scheme the guys have done, guys and girls, sorry. So this is basically coming in from a stereo file. It's going to make it into a 5.1. Then it's going to swap out channels down to 7 and 8, so I get my stereo mix, and you can do that. Again, you can do so many different ways of doing this. I could have swapped the channels before, and I could have done this whole profile of doing it any way you want to do. And as you see, step 1 is doing the upmix, and the other one is doing the channel migration and swapping. Now, if I want to kind of make my own, let me show you. It's so simple. So hang up here and do add new. And don't do what I did and think this examine workflow is going to be overwritten. You have to delete that out. So type in demo and hit save settings through there. And then down here, add a new sequence. Okay, so now it'll add demo up here. It's going to ask you what you want to do. All this is all grayed out because you really have to kind of follow it, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish here. So the media is going to be whatever you want it to be through here. You can actually be bespoke down as MXF, MOVs, MTVs, and WAVs. In this case, I'm just going to do media. Number of audio channels coming in. Well, I know this one's going to be 2. So this is where I'm telling you, you can do so much with this application where if you've got variants of different audio channels coming into a workflow, you can set up different workflows for that. So if you always know it's going to be 2 channels coming in and 5 going out, or it's going to be 5 coming in, 2 going out, it gives you a complete holding hand. And as you see, you've got 64 channels. So there's a huge, huge way of expanding your functionality to your workflow. So once I've got it here, I'm just going to do a stereo loudness in this case. I'm going to add this. Okay, so the next step is to go into signal processing. So if I click signal processing, I've got loudness, and this is where all the other add-ons are. So depending on your needs of encoding, decoding, Dolby, upmixing, downmixing, audio description. So audio description is a big thing in the UK market right now where a lot of people are wanting to have audio description on the commercials. So very bespoke. So have a chat to Emotion to see what your needs are. In this case, I'm going to do a very easy, just loudness. Now, I just hit my add steps on this, and now it comes into what you're trying to accomplish. Now, channel 1, channel 1, channel 2, channel 2, you'd think that's kind of passed through, but what I'm going to do is a stereo one here. And now you've got all these prefixes, these presets. So you've got Australia, China, DPP, all this sort of fun stuff all the way down through here. Now, I can come through and just go, look, just give me a, what are we going to do here? Let's do an R128, just a simple one. Now you're not done yet. What you want to do is that you want to configure this, and now you're going through on this preset. So if you wanted to rename this as in demo, save that, and now you can configure this so you can actually do what you want to do in it. So you're not going to mess around with the R128 generic one. You can jump into here. So the measurement tabs and the correction tabs, I'm going to go through that in a tick. So the measurement ones is going to be the loudness, it's going to be LUFS. In this case, you can't go down to any of the other ones because it's the EBU one. So here as well, you can step right into it as well. So you can go into here. Now you can go into your LKFS. You can come down to your LQAs, which is the DBS. So you can come to the Aussie one. So there's a huge amounts of flexibility and customization that you can do with this program. It's mad. This one's interesting. So this loudness range is a new feature which is in beta for the guys. And this allows you to basically take out the peaks and the troughs of a certain mix. Now, the guys say in the manual to actually check the file once you've done it. A good example might be a long 30-minute telesales shop where there's a sound effects in there of a hammer hitting or whatever, but the rest of the program is very kind of even all the way throughout. What you want to do is bring that hammer down a little bit, but keep everything unified. So with this loudness range unticked, I'm just going to show you the difference. So -23, you got some gating, short terms, and what have you, and you've got some peaks. If you go into the correction of this now, you can see that you can correct the loudness programs, click the shortened term, momentary, and true peak. Down here, it's not selected. So if I come up here again and go, right, I'm going to do my loudness range and do my threshold of 5. Again, they say you should leave everything as it is. If I click this algorithm is set in stone. Absolutely go in your own ways of testing out and doing what you want to do. It's completely up to you. So if I hit the save settings on that, I now add this, and now you can see that it's come up through here. It's the R128 demo. It's coming in stereo and it's going out stereo. I save this. And last but not least, I need to go to my destinations. What am I trying to do? Now this is quite cool. So you can rename and save out different mobs and MXFs or just keep it as the same. You have your 2 channels, which is great, and you can assign 2 channels. If I add this, it's now going to send this out, and I click finish. Last but not least, hit save settings, and I love to do one more too, save settings. Hooray! So your demos come through. You can actually go and have a look and configure it and see what it is now. So all I'm doing is a stereo R128 on this one here. Files coming in, doing loudness and getting out. All nice and neat. Just come up here and close this down. And you can now, up through here, that's come and made a demo. I can have watch folders, which is quite cool. So again, it's an additional service of that. If I click add new and go, what do you want to do? I want to call this tremendously awkward name of demo. I'm going to make it the demo one that I've done. Yeah, you can do iterations there. So look at the source folder. So if I look at my desktop and do a new folder called demo, and then I can go to my destinations folder, select directory, and I'm going to do, I don't know, what am I going to do? Probably out. There's all my other stuff come in. Now important, your reports, absolutely imperative that you do here. So you can do XMLs, PDFs, and CSV reports. It's very interesting actually. So if I do this and do this back out to out, and report file name, timestamp, what have you. So it's all cool there. So if I hit the save settings on, oops, sorry, and on error, you can move the file to another folder. You can rename the file. Again, there's so much you can do in here. It's absolutely bonkers. Source file after processing, so you can actually delete the file out. You can move it. You get the idea. It's absolutely tremendous what you can do here. Another really cool thing that comes with Engine is a application called Client. Now you can have more clients. It is a fee, of course, but have a chat to Emotion, see how much that's going to cost you. But what this is an application that can run on any of the servers within the network. Sorry, computers, not servers. And this connects to the engine. And this shows you basically a progress of where it is. And this works perfectly with the watch folders, the APIs, and where we're at. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw in a test file called demo2. And demo is then going to run up on client. It's now found the file, it's registered it. Depending on the size of the file, it will do a pre-look of the file and go, right, what am I trying to accomplish here? Once it's registered, it will process. Once it's processed, it'll done and it'll move it to the folders that need to go into. So as you see now, it's processing. So it's quite quick. It's a 30-second spot. So as you see, boom, there we go. I'm running an i7 laptop, so that's successful. And if we have a look here, It's come through and it's renamed the file whatever you want to do here. It's got a PDF of what needed to be done. In this case, there was no analyzing needed. You can change out these things for your own logos, completely up to you, and it gives you lovely graphs. I've asked it to ignore the bars and tone on this as well, so I can actually not attenuate those through. So back to this, as you see from the client, you can see I always have to come up here and refresh the list now and then if it's not working. If I shut this down and come back in, I will need to refresh it again as well sometimes. Completely hit and miss. There's no real rhyme and reason for that. But what I want to show you is that up in Engine itself, you've got this whole advanced section, and this is really interesting. So, won't bore you with language options, but destination options is quite interesting. So here, you've got these three sections. This one, copy the source file. So if there's nothing to be done to the file, Engine won't mess the file if it's okay. So if it's already to -23, and it needs to be corrected to -23, and it doesn't analyze it, it won't make a new file, it just says fine. If you don't tick this one here, copy source file, it will just sit in the same place. So I normally just get it to move across because I will normally have a watch folder on the other end, going back in the Vantage or going up to an FTP or going to AWS. So I will get it to copy the file over. These guys are kind of leave them as it is because I don't want to override anything. The other features down through here, which are quite interesting, is that this is very cool. I'm not going to bore you with this Dolby E stuff, but please have a chat to Ian and the guys about Dolby E and any of the reporting that needs to be done here. File management options, again, you can have where the temp files go, where your log files go, caching, watch folder database options. It is a huge application, and there's so much in here to have a look with. So again, you can have a look at the tone and bars for setting up. So don't go past this menu. It has a lot of really cool things in here. And I always recommend people to come in, have a look, and play with it. So how I use this day to day is that we'll receive commercials in. We'll need to be corrected to either DBFS -9, -10, any PPM modulations. If it needs to go over to the States, down to Australia, any of that stuff we put through this application, and it's worked absolutely rock solid. So hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Go on, have a go at the demo, have a play, have a chat to the guys and girls. They're absolutely super responsive. And it makes perfect sense to have this in your toolkit because if you're doing distribution or any other kind of program distribution, this is the only piece of kit out there that I've seen that is server ready on all the platforms and is constantly in development. So hopefully this helped, guys. See you soon.